This last Saturday, April 22nd, a little piece of civilization died. In Great Britain, Paul Weston, a candidate in the Liberty GP party, was arrested. Why was he arrested? Well, he was reading something from a history book written by Winston Churchill, The River Wars. And it was a short 1-minute read about Islam, or as he called it, Mohammedanism. Let me read this to you. How dreadful are the curses which Mohammedanism lays on its members, beside the fanatical frenzy, which are as dangerous in man as rabies in a dog. And by the way, I've changed a couple of words here for modern. The original reads hydrophobia. Dangerous in man as rabies in a dog, there is this fearful fatalistic apathy. The effects are apparent in many countries. Improvident habits, slovenly systems of agriculture, sluggish methods of commerce, and insecurity of property exist wherever the follows of the prophet rule or live. A degraded sensualism deprives this life of its grace and refinement, the next of its dignity and sanctity. The fact that in Mohammedan law every woman must belong to some man as his absolute property, either as a child, a wife, or a concubine, must delay the final extinction of slavery until the faith of Islam has ceased to be a great power among men. Thousands become the brave and loyal soldiers of the faith. All know how to die, but the influence of the religion paralyzes the social development of those who follow it. No stronger retrograde force exists in the world. Far from being dead, Mohammedanism is a militant and proselytizing faith. Strong words, perhaps, but written by Winston Churchill. They're in history books. It's the River War. So why was he arrested? And by the way, what was he charged with? He was charged, amongst other things, with racism. Now, why did they charge Mr. Weston with racism? What has race got to do with Islam? Even Islam admits it's got nothing to do with it. But the left is running the law in Great Britain, and that's the worst term they can come up for you, is racist. So that's the worst legal charge they can bring. Whether or not it fits Islam or not is of no importance. What are we going to do about this? Well, let me tell you what won't help, or at least won't solve the problem. Writing articles, reading emails, reading web pages, and even listening to this video. We have to move beyond this. You see what Mr. Weston has done that is so brilliant and so courageous is, he's in the public proclaiming the truth. And we have to start being in the public as well. One of the great weaknesses of the counter-Sharia movement is that it's all done, it seems, from a keyboard. We've got to get away from the keyboard like Mr. Weston did. He's the perfect example. We need new tools. And may I suggest that a powerful tool is mass civil disobedience. What would happen, for instance, in England if, say, several hundred people showed up, read the same material, they already called the police, and demand to be arrested? You see, that jams up the criminal justice system. And by the way, this is a criminal charge which can result in 2 years' worth of sentence. So if we all start doing this together, then we can help Mr. Weston out and give him cover. What I'm going to do is I do 3 radio shows next week, and I'm going to read these same charges on them, just as we have here. We all need to become those who offend the politically correct. Churches need to do this. Everyone needs to do this. The churches need to see that this, in America, you're looking through a time machine, and pretty soon you're not going to be able to make any comments like this either, whether from the Bible or anything else. We're going to have to develop some means of mass civil disobedience on several of these things. And that means we need to develop a cadre before the fact, a group of people who are willing to stand and say, when my time comes, I'm willing to make a public demonstration of the freedom of speech. That's the only way we can cover people like Mr. Weston, because otherwise they're going to pick us off one at a time while people stand around and wring their hands and say, well, what are we going to do? Stop reading emails, stop reading web pages, stop looking at videos, and get out and get into the public marketplace of ideas where people can see you and you can be with your own. Thank you.